So away now in this combined 3,000 metres for the women. Under 18, 17, 16 and 15 all out there. Our under 18 competitors from Diamond Valley, Joanna Stewart. From Eureka, Sarah Waters. From Western Athletics, Courtney Scott. From Casey Cardinia, Samantha Prime. From Doncaster, Sienna Henshaw. And from the Coburg Harriers, Stella Radford. Our under 17s from Western Athletics, Claire Hodgart. From Coburg Harriers, Leah Policarpo. And from Frankston, Ellie Jackson. And the under 16 competitors from Frankston, Kayla Cheesley. From Western Athletics, Brooke Zarafa. And from the Mornington Peninsula, Chloe Anderson. And then our under 15s from Frankston, Emily Ferrier. From Coburg, Amelia Mazzadowney. And from Chilwell, Corinne DeMeo. And from Glen Huntley, Michaela Arthur. But out in front, in the early stages, it looks to be the runner from Eureka in Sarah Waters, who's opened up a break of just a couple of metres back to the Western Athletics athlete in Courtney Scott, who we've seen to be in fine touch recently, taking home a swag of invitational medals at the recent Victorian Country Athletic Championships. Tucking in just behind her is Samantha Prime in the Casey Cardinia colours, with the two Coburg runners who both enjoyed great success this weekend in Leah Policarpo and Stella Radford back in 4th and 5th. The field just starting to string out a fraction. Those three runners in Waters, Scott and Prime, with a bit of a break back to Policarpo now in 4th. But still plenty of athletes in contention in the early stages of this 3,000 metre event as they come up now with 6.5 laps left to travel. So less than 3 laps to travel now for our lead group, which has just started to string out a fraction. Leah Policarpo, who we've seen so dominant so far in these championships in both the 2,000 metre steeple and the 1,500, maybe just starting to feel the pinch a bit and a bit of a gap opening up. The lead group reduced to 7 or so, although Policarpo is certainly not out of contention. She'll just need to make sure she doesn't let that gap blow out too far, but it is Courtney Scott by the looks of things from the under 18 age group at the front of that field. Still right with her every step of the way is Samantha Prime from Casey Cardinia. And tucked into that group also, who we've neglected to mention so far, is Frankston's Ellie Jackson, who of course we've seen some very strong performances for in schools competitions throughout this season, representing Toorak College. So those three occupying positions 1, 2 and 3 overall at the moment. And yet another showdown looming between Kayla Cheesley and Brooke Zarafa back in 4th and 5th place respectively. Just a slight break back to Stella Radford in the Coburg Harriers colours, and on her shoulder her teammate in Amelia Mazzadowney. So now we see it's time for Samantha Prime to take charge. Prime time, if you will. Opens up a bit of a break now back to Ellie Jackson in the Frankston colours, and Courtney Scott just tucked in behind her. As we see a bit of a gap now back to Kayla Cheesley in 4th place, who herself has a buffer of just a couple of metres back to Brooke Zarafa in 5th. So starting to string out over this last 600 metres, and Samantha Prime looking very strong with about 500 metres left to travel. Looking back through the field, Leah Policarpo has her work cut out for her now if she is to reel in her club mates in Amelia Mazzadowney and Stella Radford. She had the better of Radford in the 2,000 metre combined steeple just yesterday, but maybe feeling the effects of what has been a pretty demanding weekend. So she goes through now with less than 400 metres remaining. Samantha Prime looking strong as ever and continuing to power away from Ellie Jackson in the Frankston colours. And if anything, looks to be increasing her speed and increasing her lead. Straightens up for the final time, does Samantha Prime. A powerhouse performance here. Put your hands together for her, ladies and gentlemen. She made a bold move with about 600 metres remaining and takes out a commanding lead to stop the clock in just a bit over 10 minutes. Probably closer to 10:10, that clock stopping just a fraction early there. As we see Ellie Jackson come through to take 2nd place overall. Kayla Cheesley with a strong run home takes out the under 16 age group. Courtney Scott 4th. Stella Radford coming through now as Zarafa and Mazzadowney cross virtually together. Zarafa just with her nose in front.